My name is Silke. I'm the Executive Director or CEO of Deutsche AIDS-Hilfe, and Deutsche AIDS-Hilfe is since 2014 the host organization of AIDS Action Europe, which is a great honor for us to have AIDS Action Europe here with us. And so this is my formal, but also my most intensive connection to AIDS Action Europe, being the representative for the host organization in the steering committee and also being the chef, the boss of the team here in the office and working closely with all the fantastic people. So as well as in the steering committee, in the office, and also for sure in all the member organizations I had the honor to meet already. I started in AIDS Action Europe becoming a steering committee member beginning of 2014, not at all knowing that AIDS Action Europe is looking for a new host organization. So I applied for the steering committee, independent, because I didn't know about it. And then at my first steering committee meeting in March in Amsterdam, I got to know that AIDS Action Europe is up for a new host organization. And so we were discussing, and I saw that for Deutsche AIDS-Hilfe it would be a great possibility to strengthen our European Central Asia perspectives, because by then we looked back to around 6 years of international work focused on Eastern Europe and Central Asia. So this is the main international focus of Deutsche AIDS-Hilfe International Department, coming out of a key populations perspective, working a lot with drug users, migrants, sex workers, gay men and other MSM. So this was our perspective to share, to build up partnerships, to create projects together with partners in Eastern Europe and Central Asia. So at that point, that fitted fantastically to the purpose of AIDS Action Europe, serving the whole WHO region, widening our perspectives, but also from the point of view that Deutsche AIDS-Hilfe is an umbrella organization of member organizations. So in a way similar to AIDS Action Europe in its structure of not being a personal individual member-based organization, but a member organization-based one. So, and I think to this point, it really was a clear step to say, hey, if the steering committee, if AIDS Action Europe wants AIDS Action Europe being hosted by Deutsche AIDS-Hilfe, we are happy to go for this. And I talked to the board and to colleagues, and everyone liked the idea. And also looking from the point of view of Berlin being based in a way and also in a historic way of having been a divided city, at some points, for sure, Central Europe, Western Europe, but also with a strong relation to Eastern Europe. And that made, from my perspective, a very good step for AIDS Action Europe. I got to know AIDS Action Europe through the Civil Society Forum, which has been a strong body to the European Commission. And I really am very sad that the Civil Society Forum in that form does not exist any longer, since many years now. And in the time that the Civil Society Forum as really a place where out of every countries and every communities, people came together on the European level to exchange experiences, practices, but also political perspectives, and shared their fights, their thoughts, and really came together. There, AIDS Action Europe had a tremendous role in organizing, in facilitating, bringing together, and also continuing the network. A colleague of mine who was involved in the whole beginning in 2014, who made, together with myself, possible to move AIDS Action Europe to Berlin. She at some point said, hey, that is our baby. we brought our baby and now it grows and it can walk and it nourishes itself. So we feel at some point that we are the mothers of those 10 years at Deutsche AIDS-Hilfe. And yes, I hope that our grown child, not being a child because it had already 10 years of existence as an organization, but it was in a way a restart, and we had to find out where to go and with whom to go and who to bring on board. And thanks to all the wonderful steering committee members who continued in that time and went with us the way of handing over and being on board and bringing past and future together. So this was really, really an important experience to get the chance to prove that Deutsche AIDS-Hilfe is worth it to trust us to take over and host AIDS Action Europe. So, and to feel the trust and the chance and to take it and to make the best out of it. I think this was one of my big projects, big things in my professional life. To me, one of the important things are our steering committee meetings in the countries of the steering committee members, where when we had stakeholder meetings or community meetings, we had always quite different meetings, but where it happened and where we got to know a bit more the organization that was part of us being represented in the steering committee, and also to getting more closely the situation in the country, in the region, the city, whatever. And seeing that it's worth going there and also listening to people, but also bringing the power of AIDS Action Europe to some others. Looking at our work as a network and also at the international department of Deutsche AIDS-Hilfe, the collaboration and the connection to Eastern Europe and Central Asia has been very, very strong. And we all know that in these years of war and of awful laws coming up in all over the places, anti-LGBTIQ laws, anti-funding laws, to make it short, I think that our strong network that we have all together is really needed to help organizations and people to survive in this very difficult situation. And I hope that AIDS Action Europe can contribute to surviving of all those in danger at the moment, and also that we can continue to find funding for projects beyond the European Commission funding, which doesn't go to certain areas and which is not done for Eastern Europe, for Central Asian countries. But I think this is a task for AIDS Action Europe to really, keep the bridge and keep the networks running, and also engage in strong, powerful commitment from all of us. I would love to see AIDS Action Europe's membership becoming stronger, not meaning growing in numbers, but growing in collaboration and standing together. I think civil society of community-based organizations is shrinking and is in danger all over the places in Europe and Central Asia. So this is really, really important that we all stand together, that we fight together. And AIDS Action Europe, as a member-based organization, I think can play a big role in this, because there are so many members and we can raise voices, we can collect and bring power together. And this is, I think this is the most important point that we have to work for in the next upcoming years. So advocacy would claim some people calling it, but also I think to me, it's more than advocacy. It's really empowering ourselves in those times who are getting worse and worse all over the places. I feel that it's absolutely necessary that organizations, but also that I, in my professional work, I engage in topics and for people and with communities that I'm part of, but as well that maybe need to give a voice, to give them space, to fight together, to stand together, and not to split up in so many different communities, but stand together and speak up together, and also speak up for those who cannot raise their voice due to reasons of human rights or of where they live or of the condition they are in. I wish AIDS in Europe the trust of its members, the trust of the Commission or other funders, because that will be important, the trust of partners and collaborators like other networks, and the surviving in difficult times, the surviving together, not only for AIDS in Europe, but for all of us personally and for our organizations and the network. And I wish for good possibilities, opportunities of collaboration, of strengthen our voices, of being heard, rise up our concerns, but also being proud together, being proud of our work, of our being, of our voices. And I wish a fruitful and wonderful, powerful future for AIDS in Europe, besides all the difficulties around us in the world. Let's stay together, let's fight together, and also let's party together. Happy birthday, AIDS in Europe. Alles Gute, AIDS in Europe.